one of the biggest things I said was, I said, well, I'm not going to continue to chase my life's purpose. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to eliminate the distraction of trying to find my purpose. And I'm just going to do the best that I can possibly do in everything in my life. I said, what if this year my purpose was just to do the best that I can do as a father, as a husband, as a brother, as a son, as a leader, as a marketer? What if my purpose this year is just to do the best that I can possibly do and look back at the end of the year and say, man, I did the best I could do that year in every part of my life. And I was proud of it. So I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story to start off this episode of the podcast. This is a Trevor Truck Talk. This is another one of the life truths in my list of life truths that I'm unveiling over the course of probably the next year or so. I've got dozens of them, and I'll kind of sprinkle them in here. It's not really a series that's going to be weekly or anything like that. They're just going to be sprinkled in as we have time. And so this goes back to 2010. And I've told this story many, many times. And if you guys go back and listen to the episode that I did, I think it's called something like the 8 life decisions or 8 choices or something like that. We'll link it up in the show notes, both if you're watching this on YouTube or grabbing it on our website. But in there, I talk about one decision, one thing I had to do, one choice I had to make, which was to stop becoming a messy person. And a lot of you might be thinking about, like, how does that help me be successful or happy or whatever it is? So let me read you this life truth, and then I'm going to tell you the story. It's a life truth. This life truth came from the book War of Art as well. Order and tidiness. Seek order. To operate at your greatest level, eliminate chaos from your life so you can banish it from your mind. Your muse needs order and no distraction to do its best work. So let me read this back to you. Order and tidiness. Seek order. To operate at your greatest level, eliminate chaos from your life so you can banish it from your mind. Your muse, that creative person inside of you, that creative being inside of you, needs order and no distraction in order to do its best work. So going back to 2010, 11, 12, you guys have heard when I went through kind of that, probably the biggest mindset shift that I had to go through in my life to really kick off where I am today. But since then, I've gone through some huge ones as well. I remember waking up one day, this was after the fact. This might even be in 2012. I'm not sure. I remember waking up one day, not wanting to go to work to do the work that I had created for myself in my own business. You guys have heard that story. But one thing that happened shortly after that, after I had that realization, and I wrote my 5 non-negotiables. We'll link up that show notes episode as well, the 5 non-negotiables episode. And I made my 5 non-negotiables. One of the things I started to think about was my life's purpose. And I didn't know what it was, right? I think it changes, it shifts, it adjusts as time goes by. The seasons in your life, I think your life's purpose will adjust for a period of your life. It could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 20, it could be 2. But at that time, I didn't know what it was. And one of the biggest things I said was, well, I'm not going to continue to chase my life's purpose. I'm not going to continue to bang my head against the wall trying to find this thing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to eliminate the distraction of trying to find my purpose. And I'm just going to do the best that I can possibly do in everything in my life. I said, what if this year my purpose was just to do the best that I can do as a father, as a husband, as a brother, as a son, as a leader, as a marketer? What if my purpose this year is just to do the best that I can possibly do and look back at the end of the year and say, man, I did the best I could do that year in every part of my life. And I was proud of it. And so I remember going back, waking up one day and grabbing a shirt out of my drawer. And for my whole life, I've always been a messy person. I'd always been a messy person. I grew up messy. I remember having weekends, literally weekends, y'all. I don't know if any of you guys could relate to this, but I remember having weekends when it was clean up your bedroom weekend. Not like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, but I would be in my room all day on a Saturday or Sunday cleaning up my room because it got so messy between me and my little brother. We shared a room. My mom wasn't really diligent. My mom or dad wasn't really diligent in making sure that we were clean per se. Our house was clean all the time as far as like our living spaces, but our bedrooms, they never really made us keep it clean. So I kept that. I kept that carrying forward. My truck was always messy. I would throw things on the floor in the truck, and I'm like, oh, I'll pick it up later, and I didn't. Then weeks would stack up, and then it was, a cleanup 20 minutes in my truck, and it was just embarrassing, right? And so you go to the office, and your desk is a mess, and your files in your Google Drive are a mess. They're not organized, or whatever it is. Just organization became one of my last priorities, and I honestly thought that part of my creativity came because of my lack of organization. I thought part of my creativity, my success was because I was this right brain thinker, and you try to trap me into this organization and tidiness, and that's going to go away. And what I'd realized was it's actually the opposite. Just like this life truth from The War of Art, the book The War of Art says, it's actually the opposite. As I was digging into that year, I opened up that drawer, grabbed the shirt out of my drawer. My drawer was a complete mess because, once a quarter, I'd go through and fold all my shirt drawers when I couldn't find anything. They'd be all perfectly, my drawer would be all perfectly folded. And then you want that one darn shirt at the bottom of that stack, right? It's like, man, I want the shirt down there at the bottom. You pull the shirt at the bottom, not gingerly, you just pull it up. It flips the entire stack. And then the entire stack now is a mess, and you don't clean it up. And that was kind of my MO. And so this was after a month or two of me flipping shirts through, and it was just a mess. And so I grabbed it out and I said, man, that's not the best that I can do. That's not the best that I can do. That's being messy. That's being someone who's just making excuses for not being tidy. Imagine if I was tidy in my drawer all the time, and I could open up my drawer and immediately find what I wanted to do without having to search, without having to rifle around in there. Imagine how much mind space that would free up. Imagine how little clutter that would bring up in my mind every single morning when I go in there. And so I took everything out of my drawer, I folded it, and guys, that was over 10 years ago. And my drawers are still perfectly folded today, a decade later. I don't let them get shabby. I don't let them get out of order. I don't let them do that. And it actually feels so freeing because now I can open up my drawer and immediately grab what I want. That mind space is still there, and the clutter doesn't seep into the rest of my life. Now, the same thing happened a few weeks later. I opened up my closet. My closet was always a spot to throw stuff on the bottom of the floor, right? A shirt would fall off a hanger. I'd kind of keep it there. I'm like, oh, I'll get it next time. And next time never came. And so I opened up my closet one day, and same thing, my closet floor was a mess, and I couldn't find the things I wanted. And so one day I said, that's not good enough. That's not the best I can do. So I took everything out of my closet, got rid of half my clothes, and ever since then, my closet has been perfectly clean. Everything folded, everything hung, shoes are all in a line, everything's where it's supposed to be. And it eliminates that mental clutter. My truck was kind of that last bastion, okay? And my truck was like the spot where I'm, for so long, even years after going through that tidiness episode at home, for years, my truck would still be that thing that was just messy. And I'm like, well, I've got to have one spot that's messy, right? Got to have one spot that's messy. And so then I got a new truck a couple of years ago, and I'm like, well, shoot, that's just not the best that I can do. That one took me a while. So my truck is always clean. It's always clean on the inside. It still smells like it's new. My kids, when they bring food in here, I don't let them eat it in here anymore unless they can clean it up themselves, which I've made them do sometimes, where it's like, hey, you made the mess, you clean it up. It's not my mess to clean up, buddy. And so he'll clean it up. Okay, so guys, order and tidiness, I can tell you, I would not be where I am in my life right now. I would not have had the ability, the mental clarity. I would not have had my mind free enough and clear enough to be able to tackle bigger things if I didn't become more orderly and more tidy. Now, am I the perfect person? Heck no, guys. There's spots in my office that still have like a little corner over there I need to get tidy. There's still spots here and there that I need to work on, but fundamentally, I'm a different person when it comes to order and tidiness. If you would have asked me 5 years ago if I was orderly in the way that I organize my day, the answer is not really. But today, I'm a lot more orderly. I've got real process. I'm holding my leaders accountable to them being orderly as well. They've got to report their 5 top monthly commits to me every single month. They got to report here's my top 5 commits. They have to put them in on paper. They have to lock them in. We review them weekly. They've got to lock in what are your 5 top weekly commits. They've got to lock those in. I want them to be orderly. I want them to be tidy. I want them to have a plan. And they've got to have a spot where they go to every time. And I want to see where that spot is because I want to work with you to coach you on it. And so, guys, that was not me 5 years ago. And the reason I bring this up is exactly what the War of Art says. I'm going to wrap up this episode with this. What the War of Art says is order and tidiness. Seek order. To operate at your greatest level, eliminate chaos from your life so you can banish it from your mind. Chaos, dirtiness, messiness, guys and gals, it seeps into your mind and it seeps into it creates open loops. It creates this anxiety, this angst in your mind that you don't even recognize sometimes. When you're trying to find focus and you're trying to get focus and stuff, it could be literally because your life is cluttered. Look at your cell phone. If you're having a hard time focusing in your life because your cell phone's dragging you in, how do you create more order on your cell phone? Or eliminate all of your notifications. That's one way to create order. Number 2 is order order, and make more tidy your applications. That's one way to create order. My homepage on my cell phone used to have 8 million different things in it. I created folders for everything, and now what I have on my homepage is 12 of them. It's just 12 of them. Okay, I've got my Bible app first. I've got Voxer, which is where I communicate with a lot of my team members. I've got Spotify because I like listening to music. I've got Google Sheets because that's where I actually do my daily habit tracker and where my assistant Jen has hers, so quick access. I've got my clock. I've got my notes. So Apple Notes right here. I access my notes every single day. I've got Safari for quick access to the web. I've got Google Drive for quick work stuff. I've got my sleep timer. I've got my musician app, which I haven't used in a while, which is to learn how to play guitar. I've got my 75 Hard app because I'm finishing up 75 Hard. It's important to me. And I've got Marco Polo, which is my accountability group for 75 Hard. That's it. There's no social media on my homepage. I have to go deep to try to find any of the social media stuff. Okay? So order and tidiness, y'all. I can guarantee you, if you're trying to hit the next level, if you're hitting a roadblock, if you're hitting a ceiling, if you're trying to make it happen, if you're trying to be a better leader, if you're trying to be a better husband, father, wife, sister, brother, whatever it is, order and tidiness, seek order. To operate at your greatest level, eliminate chaos from your life so you can banish it from your mind. Your muse needs order and no distraction in order to do its best work, okay? Create time blocks in your schedule. That's order, okay? Show up to your meetings. That's order. Create better meetings. Make sure your meetings have a real plan. That's order. Okay. Clean your closet. Clean your dresser drawers. Clean your vehicle. I can guarantee you, if you have a vehicle and it's dirty, every other part of your life is probably the same way. If your vehicle is dirty, your work is going to be messy and not tidy. Your life is going to be messy and not tidy. Clean up your darn vehicle. All right, guys. Love you guys. Have an amazing rest of the week. Hopefully this series is helping you guys out. If you guys are getting anything from it, go to Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, trevor.mauch. That's MAUCH. Follow me over there, y'all, and DM me and let me know, are you liking this series? How are you liking this Life Truth series? Like I said, I'm going to keep on dropping new life truths on you over the course of this next year or two, maybe. I've got dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of them. And hopefully you guys are getting a lot out of them the same way that I have. Have an amazing week. Follow me on IG. And guys, if you have not learned how to get more tidy with your content marketing, go to carrot.com/evergreen. Learn our process to make your authority hub more tidy, your website more tidy, to convert better, to make your content process more tidy, to eliminate the chaos in your marketing plan. So go to carrot.com/evergreen, and we will see you over there. See you guys.